Hello, my loves, and welcome back to A Life of a Woman. I am your host, Callie. I'm just loving the new video camera that I have. It hasn't got a filter, but I'm loving the vibe that it's giving. So if you're interested in checking out this podcast visually, you can go and have a look on YouTube. And yeah, I am liking the setup. I am liking the camera quality. It's great. But I am so glad that you're here. So whether you're listening on your morning walk or while you're folding the laundry or hiding in the pantry for 5 minutes, because let's face it, we've all been there. I'm so glad that you're here and I'm like feeling the vibe today. I have been like pumping the tunes all morning. I've had the incense going. I've done my morning cacao with frothed oat milk. And I'm feeling the vibes. I had my banana smoothie, banana oat smoothie, and I'm feeling the vibes today, which is great because I'm in luteal phase and like four-ish days away from my period. And this is when usually people are like really hitting it hard, like during luteal phase, that's when people like feeling all the cramps, the mood swings, and all that. And I'm just like all the high vibes today. So it's going well. It's going well. And it just shows how connecting with your body and listening to it can just totally change so much in your life and so many areas of your life. So I'm really excited that you're here. And today's episode is a personal one. So I want to take you behind the scenes of what's been kind of shifting for me over the last couple of weeks and what is going to be shifting for me big time over the next 4 months, so May to August. So I will be going through a transformation. It's going to be deep, it's going to be layered, it'll probably be uncomfortable at times, but I am so ready for it and it is just so necessary. So I want to share this with you now at the start of the 4 months. Not just as a way to use this as a reflection for later, but I'm hoping it's something that maybe it might stir something in you that maybe you want to do some of these things that I'm doing as well. Or, you can just jump into my DMs and let me know what's going on for you. We can help keep each other accountable and just be, like transformation buddies over the next 4 months. So, this is, yeah, I'm really feeling this time to kind of level up and change things and really evaluate where things are, because we are not meant to settle in life. We are not meant to live a mediocre life or a stagnant life or live in the shadows. Like, we are here to live the happiest, healthiest life that we can. And we often forget that in the chaos of life and work and parenthood and all that. But I'm your reminder to step it up. All right. We are all here to step it up together and just live amazing, happy lives. So, what has brought on this, kick in my butt to really go down this path of having a 4 month transformation? So, if you listened to one of my previous episodes, and I cannot remember what number it is, but I did an episode on my 2024, the real story. That's what it's called. So, go back and have a look. And like if you listen to that, you'll know that last year was a really like a high year of like really big achievements for me last year. But even with all those high achievements, and I was like ticking things off my bucket list that I'd wanted for 15 years, like it was fabulous kind of year in terms of achievements. But I was quite low in my emotions last year. And I really felt quite fatigued at the end of this year, or like end of last year and coming into this year. And so it's really just time for a transformation and just a time to reflect on all life areas, and think about what I actually want, to, yeah, not just sit in this state of low emotions and actually create a life that gives me energy, which I'm so here for. And just thinking about it always gives me energy. So it's really great. I'm all for transformation. But yeah, so it's really just now time to change it up. So in summary, like last year, like yeah, as I said, ticked off a lot of things on my bucket list. I started my podcast, which I am loving. I had a beautiful community in my family, but like I was just doing all the motions. Like I was doing all the motions that to achieve success and to look successful, but it wasn't fulfilling like inside. And I was definitely overloading myself last year. I was working full time as well as like parenting. Like I was then also full time parent, like 5 days of the week. So I was working full time hours and being full time parent 5 days a week. So there are not that many days in the week, but that's what I was doing. So doing that for a whole year and all everything that I was trying to achieve in business and life, it was just I was just so drained last year by the end of last year. I was so drained. So now it's the time to like really reflect on that and just create the balance that I really want to. And we've done a big shift in the last kind of day or two around our regular routines, and I'll go into that later. But I just feel so light and energized by thinking about it. So it's just really the time to come back to like my truth and my values and just to live and parent and love and lead from a place of like my full-bodied like authenticity and actually finding out what is authentic to me as well, because so many of us do not even know that. So yeah, it's just really a time that my soul just said, let's go to the next level. And I always believe there's lessons in challenges. And so with the challenge of last year, it just showed that even though it looked like I was doing everything that I had wanted to, like it looked like I was successful in like my business was going well, like the ticking off the things in the bucket list, but I was doing the motions and it didn't have that emotional connection necessarily, or I was just doing too much as well. Like I was way doing too much. So challenges are always lessons and times to pivot. And so now it's time to pivot and find my aligned path and life so that 2025 is bigger and better than last year. And I so know it will be. So this requires change. It requires letting go of old habits, of old stories, limiting beliefs, and just ways of living and being that aren't aligned to the woman that I want to be, aren't aligned to. So, like, if I have all these beautiful visions, because I am so, I'm so great at visioning, but it's then becoming the person that can hold those visions and can achieve those visions. So, as well as that podcast app. So go and listen to 2024. But also since then, I also got my period back after, because, I talk about periods a lot on this show. So I got my period back. So that was over 2.5 years postpartum that I finally got my period back. So it was a long postpartum period of no period, no cycle. But I was breastfeeding full time and still am. If you follow me on socials, um, this week we have been trying to night wean. So I'm not even fully weaning. I would just like to be able to sleep through the night and sleep in positions that I want to sleep in and not have a leech attached to me all during the night. Like, for example, he fed 4 times in an hour and a half the other night. Like, this is what I've been doing and living for the last 3 years. So yes, that is one thing that I am doing now in my transformation is night weaning. So yeah, my socials, I've been telling everyone about how well it's going, or not well, I should say. But I think we're slowly turning a corner. It's day 7 now. So I think we're slowly turning a corner. And yeah, that'll be really exciting. So yeah, since getting my period back, so I've had like 6 cycles now, 5 or 6 cycles since then. And it's just been so easy. I'm so, it's just been so easy. Like no PMS symptoms, like no cramps, no mood swings. It's just been great. And it's all I put it down to because I cycle sync. Like it's the first like cycles, 6 months after you're getting your period back, you expect them to be like all winky wonky and all over the place and like irregular and like hormones fluctuating, going everywhere. But it's just been so easy for me, which has been great. And I put it down to cycle syncing. But I will say, so after 2 or 3 cycles, I intentionally did like all right, well, I've been cycle syncing for so long that like, and my periods have always been awesome, but now they're even more awesome. Um, but let's see if I don't cycle sync and if I just kind of live a bit more of a, I'll just say trashy lifestyle with my food and exercise and whatever, let's see if it actually affects my cycle and my periods to see if it's just me or if like this cycle syncing thing actually works, which I know it does, but I just want to do a little experiment. And so I did a 1 month or like 6 week kind of experiment where I didn't cycle sync and I ate lots of takeaway food, lots of sugar, caffeine. Like I wasn't force feeding myself, but I was like, yeah, free for all. Let's just go. Let's just do it. And I was like, okay, let's just see if this actually affects my next period and, all the PMS symptoms and whatever. And I've got to say, in my whole life, I'm now 30, mid 30s, I have never had a period that bad. It was so, so bad. I had so much cramps and it was so painful that I almost took time off work. Like, seriously, like, how do women with painful periods and cycles, how are we? It's not fair that we're expected to function as men do when we're going through things like that. It is so not fair. There should really be like a extra sick leave if you're menstruating or going through menopause. There should be like extra sick leave because it is so crappy. And I was like emotional and grumpy. I was just sad. I think I was like really emotionally like sad. But it was also because I was just feeling so physically crap. So that was something that I did start of this year, like, yeah, start of this year. So yeah, the kind of hangover of last year was still followed me into this year. And then I did this experiment. So then my body is just like, what? I'm like, oh my gosh, like through all my emotions last year, I've put on a lot of weight. Like I'm now at my biggest that I've ever been, apart from being pregnant, but I'm now physically at the biggest that I've ever been. I'm like the most unfit that I've been since like my 20s, like since my early 20s. Like, yeah. So it was not the best year. I got a lot ticked off on my bucket list and things that I wanted to do, but it was just not, I wouldn't say it was as successful as it could be because it was very one-sided success. Um, yeah, so it's been a very interesting time, but as I said, like challenges have lessons and learnings and opportunities to pivot. And so that's what I'm taking from this. And March, so we've just had March, that is the astrological new year. So it just feels like the perfect time to make those New Year goals that are genuine to me. Like New Year's, I don't do resolutions, but New Year's goals or intentions, setting them at the calendar New Year's, so December, January, I feel is way too chaotic. Like we're still socializing, still partying. I have like 5 birthdays and our anniversary, like the week of Christmas and New Year's. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. It is not the time for me and not the time I believe to set New Year's goals because we're just so in the thick of it still. And then you always know that, January, the gyms are full, February, it's not because the excitement's gone, right? And so I really feel like March being the astrological new year, like you've got all that excitement out of your head, like out of the way. You've settled into the new year. You've had a couple of months in the new year and you've got the space and the clarity I find by March, like you're really clear on what you want this new year to look like. And so March, I really feel like is the best time to set New Year's goals or New Year's intentions. And so that's what I feel, yeah, is right for me. And I really encourage others to consider doing that as well. And so it just feels like the right time to really start this transformation, because transformation doesn't happen just thinking about it. It happens through embodiment. And so I've really been sitting with myself and asking myself, like, what would the highest version of me do? Like, I know I'm so clear on my vision. I know what I want. So who do I need to be living that vision and achieve that vision? And just things like, I'd stretch every day, go and dance in the kitchen, say no to things that give like take away the energy and trust the intuition more and be living in that feminine energy more and be sexy and successful and connecting with other women and mums and just leading with love. Like, oh my gosh, I've definitely been saying that to myself this year. It's like leading with love. And like anytime I feel a bit of judgment or negative thoughts coming in, I'm like, no, what would love say right now? And lead with love. And oh, it's just been a beautiful like flip on things for me this year. But yeah, so I've already started implementing some of these things because I really feel like I've been preparing myself and like we're in April now, so this is like heavy preparation month for me to really get clear on what am I going to be doing over the next 4 months to really transform myself and my life over these next 4 months. So, yeah, as I said, I'm reconnecting with my feminine energy through cycle syncing and the moon tracking and manifesting and just movement that feels good and not punishing and just building those deep routines that are just focused on my well-being. And especially focusing on, yeah, my physical health because your body is your home and it deserves to be nurtured. And if your body feels crap, then you're going to feel crap. Like your physical body affects your emotional state. So yeah. And as I said, being the biggest that I've ever been, like it's a big thing for me that I'm very focused on all the time. So like don't focus on something if you're not going to change it. Like yeah, it's the kick in the butt that or just the motivation or the there's no point dwelling on something. Like you need to be the change. My tattoo on my arm, you need to be the change that you want to see in your life. So if you're not happy with something, you're the one that is like the one that can change it. So this is not just about health. This is holistic health. My transformation is all about physical, emotional, spiritual health. Because we're all connected. We're connected beings. You can't just transform one area of your life without transforming others. But that's what's so beautiful about it. So let's get into that's how I got here. So how did I actually start this transformation journey? So I've started probably a couple of weeks ago and I just got really clear on my values. I was listening to a podcast and it just clicked. Like, when you hear things, you've heard it before, but then it just clicks. So it just clicked that I needed values. I needed to know like values are like your guiding force, like your guiding factor. And they will like help you to consider, what do you want in your life? What do you want to stand for? What do you want to guide you into making decisions? So what do you want your life to look like, to feel like? What do you want people to say about you and your life? Like, and this is what will guide you to your life, your ideal lifestyle and your life and your vision and blah, blah, blah. So I got really clear on my values and I've kind of touched on this in the past, but I was always confined to whatever activity I was doing at the time, whatever. So I just let myself free for all. What do I want my life to look like? And what do I want people to think of when they think of me and my life? And it just came to me like instantly, all these values. And I am just and I've like memorized them. Like I don't, yeah, they're just so connected. Like I can just recall them straight away. Like they're exactly what I want my life to look like. So my values that I decided on, there are six of them. So the first one is health. And I have so much health in my birth chart. I'm a Virgo. Virgo is like the ruler of health, like or it's all about health. So my first one is about health. And as I said, not just physical, but emotional, spiritual, physical health. And then my second one is love and connection. So not just connecting with others, but connection with yourself and love with yourself as well. My third one is growth and transformation, because as I've said earlier, like I'm not here for mediocrity. Like we are here to continuously learn, continuously grow and transform and just grow in every day into bigger and better things. My fourth one is authenticity and alignment, because life is not fulfilling if you're not doing what you want and like what is leading to your vision and what lights you up. So you need authenticity and alignment. And part of that for me is that I realized that there were certain people that I was hanging around that I didn't feel like I could be my authentic self. So I was really like holding myself back and dialing myself down. And yeah, like what do you get from doing that? So yeah, it's just draining. It's draining. And then I found that I was actually losing myself. I didn't even know who I was because I was just, yeah, toning myself way down around certain people. So that's my fourth, authenticity and alignment. My fifth is fun and experiences because I naturally am in my masculine energy and just do, go, like always ticking off the list, always being productive. But that's like what I easily fall into. So having it as a value, like having fun and experiences, I need that reminder. I need that to be present and I need that to guide me every day, reminding me that that is actually what I want in life. Like, yes, I love doing and achieving and succeeding. That is totally authentic and in alignment with me. But I need that balance of fun and experiences because I am such a goofy, childlike person. Like, I laugh at farts. I love playing board games. Like, I love being silly. Like that is that I am that, and that is what I need to bring into my adult life and find my adult version of that as well and connect with others that can have that fun, goofy side too. And just that reminder that like it can be so easy to, when you're bogged down in the thick of things, to like buy something because it like gives you that immediate joy. But just I need to keep reminding myself that it's actually the experiences and the memories and the connection with people, and sharing those experiences, that is what brings like a lifetime of happiness and connection, is having those experiences together. So that's number five. And then number six, my last one, is like visionary and manifesting. So as I said, I'm a big visionary person, always seeing the big picture, the future picture. I do appreciate and express gratitude for where I am, but yeah, all about just not settling and just, yeah, being grateful for what you've got, but knowing that you can have bigger and better. Like, absolutely. So they're my values, and it just feels so good to have them and to use them as my guide. So every day, or when I'm making decisions, or like when I'm choosing, do I do this or that, or I'm looking at my calendar or whatever, I'm saying, is this in line with my values? Like if someone was to look at my calendar or look at my actions or what I'm doing, would they like think of these values? Like, is that reflecting these values? So, yeah, it's just really beautiful to have something to reconnect me back with my deepest me. So, that's, yeah, going to be really present in the next 4 months of my transformation, is those values. And I look at them every morning. I have a little routine now on my phone. I've got some beautiful photos saved that I made on Canva that have like a little prayer that I do to the universe. It's got my values. It's got like a guide to do a bit of gratitude in the morning. Yeah, and it's just such a beautiful little way that I do to wake up, just to remind me that I am connecting to my spirituality in the bigger picture and the universe, and just creating, like, just reminder that I'm co-creating by putting my desires out there, taking aligned action, but then also having that faith and letting go and releasing the control, because I have that faith that what I am wishing for is going to come. So it's just such a like so many beautiful practices that I've just brought in that I didn't have last year because I was too much in my masculine energy and just doing. So it feels really good this year. So with my health being um, my number one value, and all those other values as well do like kind of fall into the health kind of value, and like they all connect. So it's just really time to, as I said, revamp like my life for my physical and emotional health. And that means following my own cycle syncing program. So I've done cycle syncing for years. Like I don't even really have to think about it. But this year, I'm really going to be following my Flow and Flourish program, because that will be launched in September. So I'm going to be launching that to everyone. So for these next 4 months, I am living and breathing this program that I'm creating for all of you. and I'm sharing my results. I'm refining the program as I go so that in September, when it launches, it is the most amazing women's health program for you because I have lived and breathed it. I've been living this for years, and then now yeah, I'm going to show you how amazing this program can be, not just for your physical health, as I said, but for all like areas of your life as well. Because our cycle does affect so many areas of our life. And that is like our biggest cycle as a woman is having a menstrual cycle. So it can guide so much of what we can do and achieve in life, but in an easier way than being in that masculine energy of constantly doing. So I wanted to share the 5 lifestyle areas that I cover in that Flow and Flourish program and what I am doing over the next 4 months to bring about this transformation that I'm going through. So, for exercise, let's start with exercise because that's often the easiest thing that we can control for our health. So, for exercise, I am doing 30 minutes of exercise in the evenings, and it's cycle synced exercise. So, there are 4 phases in our cycle, and so each phase has a different style of exercise that is suited for our body for optimal fat burning and muscle growth and not putting our body into stress. And that's also why I do 30 minutes, because if you have anxiety or like high stress or imbalanced hormones, doing more than 30 minutes of exercise at a time can put your body into like it can put it into like a stress mode. So it will increase your stress hormone. And if you already have out of balance hormones or like a lot of stress hormone already, then that's just going to impact on your hormones even more. And higher stress hormone leads to worse sleep and fat storage as well. So it's just going to impact on like a whole heap of things. So yeah, I'm doing 30 minutes, but I do also want to do, like 10 to 15 minutes of stretching within that time as well. So it's, trying to do 45 minutes of movement a day. It's just 30 minutes is more of that intensive style movement. And then I usually do 6 to 7,000 steps a day, give or take. Like that's a rough average because some days I'm 1-to-1 with my toddler at home. So yesterday I did like 13,000. And then other days I have 3 like sit down desk days a week. So then those days it's more like 3 or 4,000. And then I need to like go and do like physical, consciously bump that up to at least 5 or 6,000. So, but I can easily, without thinking, I usually do 6 or 7,000. So I've just bought a walking pad. We're coming into winter. I am prepared. We've just bought a walking pad. So that way I can really focus on increasing it each time. So like getting 8,000 is the new level and then 9, 10,000 steps a day. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing for exercise because last year with how busy I was, I did not have time for exercise. It was not happening. I was a member at a gym, but I get excited about a gym for the first few months and then I just no. I don't then push myself. I then start doing movement that is not, you know, benefiting, like getting the benefits that you would want. So I am a move at home person, move in the park person, move with friends person. I have a giant Smith machine here, a Pilates reformer. We've got a mini trampoline. What else have I got? Now I've got the walking pad. So any friends listening? Come and exercise with me. Come over to my house and exercise. And I have also just signed up to weekly yoga outside in a park down near the beach. Oh, how beautiful, because nature and sustainability are so important to me. Experiences, one of my values. Connection, so connecting with other people. So I'm exercising with other people. Connection, another second value. Health, third value. So yeah, I'm really excited to do that over the next few weeks as well, is outside yoga. All right, and then food. Okay, so food was like I was like a freaking training an animal last year. Like food was my reward if I was like, oh, I've only had 5 hours sleep and now I've got a full-time parent today and do 6 hours of work. Like food was my, I'm get me through survival mode right now. Like it, does that make sense? Yeah, I was having it as a reward and a treat for life is hard, today is hard. I'm going to have this bit of chocolate, or I'm going to have this beer, or I'm going to have this bag of chips because I needed something that was emotionally fulfilling. And so that was food for me last year. So hence why I am the biggest I've been, biggest I've ever been. So food, what's happening for the next 4 months? So this month, as I said, April is like preparation phase. So this month I'm tracking what I'm actually putting into my body. So I've got a Fitbit and I am tracking everything that I'm eating. So, and then I'm looking at like the calories, the macros, and just what the food was. So I'm not using this for restriction or for control or anything like that. It's just to inform me. So it's just to educate me so that I can make informed choices moving forward. Because I also know about myself that since becoming vegan and just have like how much is drilled into us as a society, eat your veggies, eat your fruit, like we're not eating enough veggies, blah, blah, blah. So I feel like I eat enough veggies for like 10 people. So yeah, and it's very easy when you're vegan because that's a big part of what you eat. But I know that I'm not eating enough of the more protein-based like lentils and beans and tofu and things like that. And I definitely started eating more processed carbs and refined carbs and like breads and 2-minute noodles and things like that as well in my survival mode of last year. And that does not sit well with me. Like gluten, wheat, it doesn't sit well with me. I'm not celiac, but just if I eat it or especially eat too much, like I just notice that I feel more fatigued and bloated. So, yeah, just actually knowing what I'm putting into my body instead of just that mindless eating or thinking that, oh, yes, I'm eating maybe not the best this meal, but it'll be fine. I'll balance it out with other meals. And then you don't actually balance it out, like if you get what I mean. So, April is just tracking, and I'm actually really excited about it. I'm really excited to go back to looking at this because I've done calorie counting. I've done like kind of bodybuilding prep, not full bodybuilding, but weightlifting. I was like in training intensively, so I was like weighing and measuring everything. Like I've done it all before, so it's kind of interesting to go back to it now. And now that I've found more of my style of health and things like that. So yeah, just really interesting to revisit that. But it's not something I'm going to continue like in the long haul. I'll just see how it goes, see what I think. But yeah, just for this month, I'm just tracking just to inform me a bit more. And so as well with my food, I am bringing in some drinks. Like I'm really focusing on bringing drinks into my routine that have health benefits. So really focusing on like drinks for weight loss, gut health, and hormone balance because I love drinking water. I almost drink too much water. I'm like the other side of like the not healthy. I like eat too many vegetables and drink too much water. But that can still be, not that's not necessarily like the healthier option. It's not. So just find coming back more into the middle and finding that balance. So yeah, so what I'm going to be doing instead of just drinking endless amounts of water, which is what I do, I'm just going to swap some of my water for some more of the like other drinks that have benefits and are nutrient dense and can support the or trade it for unnecessary snacking because I'm definitely a grazer. I've always been a grazer, and especially because I'm home like 5 days a week, so it's very easy to graze. And then when I'm at the office staring at a computer for 8 hours a day, like it's very easy to graze because your brain is like, we were not made to do this, so give us some like sugar to keep going. So then you eat unnecessarily when you're at your office. So, yeah, just swapping out some of these drinks will help with some of those benefits and try and reduce the snacking and also just create a bit of a beautiful ritual and routine so that you're connecting more with what you're actually putting into your body. And so what I've started lately is frothing my milk in the morning. Again, if you follow me on socials, I swear for like 2 weeks, I was like posting every day, like my frothed milk drink. I was like, woohoo, I frothed milk again. So yes, I can thank my hubby for buying the unnecessary milk frother that he bought like last year, 2 years ago, that I now actually really love and use almost every day. So, what I'm having is either a cacao latte or a matcha latte. And so I've been looking into these as well. And so cacao latte is actually really good for your luteal and menstrual phases. So now I am actually trying to target when I have what drink. And so that's really good for menstrual and luteal phases. And your matcha latte is best for your follicular and ovulatory phases. So when your energy is higher, and so having them at the start of your cycle. So some of the benefits of these drinks, so cacao is rich in magnesium, which supports muscle recovery and hormone balance. It also contains theobromine, bromine, which can provide gentle energy without spiking your cortisol. And if you want, you can always chuck in some, cinnamon in there as well, which is really good for blood sugar balance and things like ashwagandha, which is good for stress. So you can add a couple of those little things for some extra benefits. And then, so that's a cacao. And then having the matcha latte in the first half of the cycle, cacao in the second half. So the matcha again provides sustained energy without crashing. It supports metabolism and fat burning. Yeah, and matcha, for those that are not quite aware, matcha is a form of green tea. Yeah, so cacao is like an unprocessed cocoa. So it's like a chocolatey kind of thing, and matcha is like a it's like a form of green tea. Yeah, so they're both the more kind of natural and unprocessed versions. But then what I do want to include as well is like a green tea. You just hear about all the benefits of green teas all the time. So, green tea rich in antioxidants and metabolism boosting. So, it supports fat loss and energy without, again, spiking cortisol like coffee. And so, I have that mid morning lunchish just in the first half of the day, so that I don't have any energizing drinks in the afternoon. So, yeah, that's my morning. And then I have, so if you have not heard me talk about this brand, PCOS to Wellness, totally like sponsored, but absolutely love them. I've been having they have a huge range of herbal teas. I have been having them for so many years, and they have herbal teas for, as you would expect, PCOS, so hormone balance teas, but then they also have teas for like raspberry teas for during your menstrual cycle. And then they have teas for pregnancy, teas for like lactation. So when you're a mum, yeah, just a huge range of teas. So I always have a tea, one of their teas in the afternoon to help regulate cycle, reduce PMS, and combat any like PCOS or, hormonal imbalances. So they are so delicious as well. Oh, yeah, they also have a Zen tea, and we love, everyone in our house has the immunity tea. So, winter coming up, grab yourself some immunity tea from PCOS to Wellness. My like I have it, hubby has it, my toddler has it. Like, if any kind of sickness, we all jump onto their immunity tea. So, grab one of their teas, and they have like a special if you buy three. So you can mix and match like all the different teas that you want. But they're so beautiful. So I have one of those in the afternoon usually. And then in the afternoon, I am having on and off. So this one isn't as strict, but I'm just trying to include a bit more green juice. So sometimes little man, like Kai and I will make our own juice at home. If there's fruit and veg that are getting a bit old, he loves like juicing. I've posted a lot of that on socials as well, but he'll help me juice up everything. We have a cold press juicer, so it really helps all the nutrients kind of stay in there so much longer and just much healthier than one of the centrifuge, like high high speed, high heat juices. So yeah, just a cold press juice. So we'll either make a juice together or I'll just buy a juice from the supermarket that again is cold pressed and just no added anything. So that's just, yeah, something a little, just have a little glass of that to help with digestion and weight loss and liver detox and things like that. I usually make sure that it's high in leafy greens, so spinach and kale, and including things like celery, cucumber, lemon, and ginger is really good for helping with digestion and bloating. Apple's always a good one to like adding apple in is always good to help add that sweetness to it as well. Maybe a little bit of, yeah, lemon, but yeah, trying to include that. And then I'm really getting back onto the protein shakes as well in the evenings when I do my exercise. So I have a vegan protein shake, tastes like berries, and I just mix that with water and just have that in the around my workout time. Because yeah, it helps with muscle retention and I can never say this word, satiety, feeling full. It helps with feeling full. Like eat more protein if you're not feeling full. So yeah, and that helps. And then with your protein shakes as well, you can always add in things like flax seeds or chia seeds, because they help with fiber and digestion as well. And then what I do like around dinner time, especially in the wintry months, is a cozy little miso soup. So I just make myself just a, standard coffee cup, well, depending on how big your coffee cups are, but just a standard cup of just a miso soup. And I have that around meal times, usually try and have that before the meal while I'm making it. So that it then helps with not overeating the meals or not snacking afterwards. So yeah, and that's miso, because it's fermented, it's really good for gut health and digestion. So yeah, so that's some of the drinks that I usually like have, but not as like routinely as what I am doing now. I've done this routine before and it was really nice. And so yeah, just bringing it back in. And then some other drinks that I'm considering are aloe vera juice, maybe just bringing that in once a week or once a fortnight. That really helps with gut healing as well. And maybe ginger or turmeric tea. They're anti-inflammatory and supports bloating, so may bring that in as well. And dandelion tea is good for liver and hormone detox. But all of those extra ones, like maybe once a week or once a fortnight, if I do bring them in, because you don't want to overdo any of these things. Um, yeah, so and then what am I doing? So that's the food, right? That's the food. So really just bringing in, so I don't overdo the water, just bringing in other drinks that have water in them, but also other benefits, and they will just help reduce with the snacking. And then hobbies and self-care. So what I'm doing for hobbies and self-care is I really want a minimalist home, but at the same time, I don't. This is something that hubby like has to deal with me all the time. You see all those memes on like social media. It's like she wants this, but then she also wants this. Like I want a minimalist home, but then I just bought like a walking pad and we just bought this and we don't want to throw out that and blah blah blah. So it's one of those like, daily struggles. So what I have set myself this year is a goal that every week I declutter one item. And I have been a gun with it so far. And I've just put it as one item because I know that some weeks I won't be a gun. But like we just redid our wardrobe. Well, like I did just redid our wardrobe because I was like, I want our wardrobe to be like photo worthy. Like I usually when people come over and like I always like hide our room and our wardrobe. And I'm like, no, I want our wardrobe and closets and everything to look beautiful and to be like those pictures because if you like if you like dress, then dress. It'll make it easier to dress yourself, see what you've got. And like if you're dressing yourself nice, you'll feel good. Like if you treat your clothing better, then you're going to feel better. You know, all those blah, blah, blah things. All those things that we know. So yeah, I really have redone our wardrobe and it's just looking so beautiful. And it is definitely photo worthy. And we've just got one other project that we're working on at the moment that we're just changing some shelves. So it just looks really like neat and finished and everything. But yeah, so and then for the rest of the year, I am just focusing on decluttering one item a week at a minimum. So putting it out on the front curb or gifting it to the op shop or re-gifting it to other people, whatever it is. So and it just feels so good. Really been yeah, really been really excited about that one because then it doesn't seem too hard. Like next week, I've already got next week's lined up because we have two spaghetti pasta holders, which we do not need because I also do not really eat spaghetti, especially like at the moment I'm choosing to not eat pasta. It doesn't make me feel good and it's I can easily say no to it. So we have two containers that hold spaghetti. So we need to cook up one jar of spaghetti so that next week I can get rid of, so it's just little things like that. But then it's just making your cupboards feel more spacious. That's what I'm trying to create is just more physical space in our home. So then we've got more mental space and yeah, it just feels more freeing. Beautiful. And then what I've also got really clear on for my self-care is my skincare routine because, oh, mid-30s and I just see more of like the genetics in myself every day. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm looking more and more like your gran or like Nana or whatever. So just a reminder to myself that like you need to take care of yourself now before you get to that. Like I never did what is it, anti-aging. I never did that in my 20s and I'm kicking my butt now in my 30s. So I need to take care of myself in my 30s so that in my 40s I'm not like, oh my gosh, Callie, what were you doing? So yeah, really focusing on skincare. So what I'm doing in the morning is like I actually went and had a look at the order that you're supposed to put all your serums and creams and whatever. Um, so I actually now have that written up on my mirror so that I can make sure I'm doing it in order because there's no point spending this money and doing this stuff if it's not even, you know, going to do the full effect because you haven't done it in the right order or whatever. And then I've bought so many tools over the years, so I'm actually now just making sure that I use them. So in the mornings, I use a jade roller and I have put it in the fridge. I used to never be brave enough to have it that cold, but I've put it in the fridge and I freaking love it. And we'll see how I go in winter, but it's that initial cold, but then you actually really like the cold on your face in the morning. So yeah, in the mornings I'm just doing all my creams and then jade rolling my face while I walk around the house, opening the blinds and getting ready for the day. So yeah, it actually feels really nice. And then in the evenings, just trying to get back into dry brushing at least once a week. I'm trying to get back into dry brushing. It's really good for stimulating circulation and detoxification and of course exfoliating. So just trying to do dry brushing before a shower in the evening, trying to do that once a week. And then I cleanse in the shower and I've got like a Foreo brush. Don't know if you know that brand, but it's like a vibrating cleansing brush, whatever I do in the shower. And then I have a micro needling tool as well. So that's good to do. Like I think it's recommended 2 to 3 times a week. So I'm trying to get back into micro needling just, a couple of times a week and then doing all my creams. And I have one of the, gosh, this is so hard. This is such a visual podcast. I don't know how to explain it. I'm doing so many hand motions. I've got a tool that like vibrates and heats and just, helps to push the creams and whatever deeper into the skin or whatever. And you lift it up and it helps to lift things up or blah, blah, apparently. So anyway, trying to use that at nighttime as well. And then I also have a LED face mask. So trying to use that more often. And I would like to use it, like at the moment, I'm using it on my Saturday mornings. I get to have a me only sleep in until 9 a.m. So I'm trying to do my LED face mask for half an hour in the mornings, like on those Saturdays. But it would be nice to try and do it one other day, maybe. But we do what we can. We're not going to pressure ourselves to overdo it. Yeah, so it just feels really nice to put more effort into my skincare as well. And I'm sure my future self will thank me for it. And then relationships as well. So if you heard recently, I did a podcast with hubby all about which one was that one? We did the love languages recently, where we talked about the love languages. And he and I also did a podcast. I think it was, sorry, I really should have brought all the numbers, but the episode numbers. But right at the start, hubby and I did a podcast app together all about our 10 years together. So he's actually come on a couple of times and we've shared that, yeah, we have been together for 10 years now. So have a listen to those two episodes. One was our 10 years together, and one was recently, just an episode or two ago, about the love languages and how we use the love languages to stay connected. So, yeah, seeing as we've been together 10 years, just really feeling the need to revisit kind of like our relationship and what we both want for like ourselves as individuals and then for us as a couple. And then now that Kai is 3 and is having his own voice and, we're having to think about his needs as well a bit more. So then also, yeah, thinking about what do we want, like our family goals, or what do we want our family life to look like. So that's been really nice. And what I'm really trying to focus on and doing a lot of that internal work is, as I said, I find being masculine energy really easy. I really thrive in masculine energy and get a lot done, but I'm really trying to put boundaries around that and have masculine energy in business and work life. And then, so that's pretty much like 3 days a week. And then, like, when I'm home and when I'm a family member, I really want to bring in more of that feminine energy. And just because feminine energy is like slower, it's in flow, it's open to receiving, it's just being and just being present and being that nurturer. And yeah, I really want to bring in more of that feminine energy to the family and to the relationship. So yeah, we've just had some deep conversations lately, and it's really exciting because I'm so clear on what I want, like what my goals are and what I want to achieve in life. So it's really nice to actually have that conversation together and be like, this is what I want to achieve, this is what you want to achieve, and how can we support each other to do that while still being a connected couple and a connected family. Like, yeah, I really enjoy those deep conversations. And for mum life, for my mum relation, like my relationship as a mum with my little man, I'm really feeling the timeline of next year is kindy and then school. Like, I'm really feeling the timeline of I pretty much only have this year with so many days with him, because then next year he's going to be doing like kindy as well as like daycare when I'm working. So this is like our year for the most time together that we'll ever really get ever again. And I'm really feeling that timeline. So we've just recently had to have a conversation around our care routine for him and how he spends his days and who looks after him on the days and everything, for his benefit, like, because for his balance, because what we have been doing is not working for him. Like, it might work for us as the adults, but for him, you can totally see that it's out of balance as to how much time he was spending in this care and away from me and there and blah, 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 blah. So it was not working for him, and it kind of all just came to a head recently. So we're having to look at how he, like, where he spends his days and his time, and yeah, just me making sure that I am spending the time with him that I want, because I won't get this back. So yeah, we're changing up that routine and I'm really excited about that, actually. It's really energizing. You know you're on the right track as well when you're energized thinking about it, right? If you're making a decision and you're not sure, like, choose a decision and like see if it energizes you or not. Like, yeah, it's really exciting. You know you're on the right path when you're feeling energized. And then other relationships as well. So like the bigger, like the wider friendships and things like that. So I've really been reflecting on those lately. And as I said at the start, like there are some relationships in my life where I felt like I couldn't be my authentic self, or I just felt like I wasn't myself in those relationships. And like not trying to point fingers or blame or anything, like it could totally be me and the way I was acting in those relationships, but just yeah, really reflecting on them and that some relationships were not feeling energizing. Um, yeah, so I am just really focusing on giving energy to those that are giving it to me as well. So being really mutual in the relationships that are present in my life and just being really open and calling in new relationships as well. Because now that I feel so clear on my values and how I want to live my life, like I'm really just calling in and being open to anyone else that is, living with similar values or a similar life or similar goals or whatever it is. Like I am, yeah, just really being open to the relationships that come my way because I, yeah, I really find it hard to let go of relationships. Being Virgo, we're very loyal, and so I almost like a end of a friendship or a separating of a friendship or just not connecting as much anymore. Yeah, it's I actually go through a grieving process and I've had a few grieving processes over the last few weeks. Like the last full moon, I think I said in a podcast, like I've really had to go through a big grieving process as I had to say thank you and release expectations of some relationships I've got in my life. And it's really hard. It's really hard when relationships change but there's no point holding on to it. And I think that's also part of like the energy that I was feeling last year is that I was holding on to these expectations and these relationships that clearly the other person didn't necessarily feel the same as I did in that relationship anymore. And that's fine. We've all got our own journey and our path, but I just get really upset and really, yeah, I just had to go through a big release of that and being okay with the fact that relationships change, but also like I need to accept like why shouldn't they change? Everything in life changes. Like you can't expect that they're going to stay the same. So, yeah. So no ill feelings, no ill will to anyone, just focusing my energy on giving to those who are giving to me. And it feels easy, it feels lighter. It feels lighter. Yeah, it feels lighter. And then the last kind of life area that I focus on, float and flourish, that I am focusing on for myself over the next few months is just the work life and not having what I had last year. And so, really, just being clear on I've got 2.5 days in my office job, I've got 1.5 days of like my business, and then I'm also got I'm mum time. So, like, what are we up to now? What's our new routine? 4-days a week. Like, we're trialing the new routine. So, back to mum 4 days a week. So, what's that? I've got 2.5 and 1.5. So, that's 4. So, 4 days worth of work and 4 days of mum life for a 7-day week. So, it's just looking at that balance and that juggle and how do I do that in a way that feels good for me but also the family. And some of that means that I have to put a lot of my business projects on pause. I'm a Manny-Gen. I am a masculine as energy, as I said. I do, and I will work my butt off to make things happen. And I was trying to do it all last year. I was trying to do all of that, achieve all that I wanted in business while being like a mum and blah, blah, blah. And it's not working. It's not working. So I really and it's going to be a work in progress. And as I said, new routine. So we'll just trial it and see how it goes. But yeah, I need to look at what this year looks like for me and Kai, and like that being like the priority. And then looking at, so what does that mean for work life and how can I make it all work, but without overloading myself last year and without, um, taking away from him and what he needs and whatever. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting trial over the next couple of weeks, but I'm excited about it. But it means that I do need to put some of my projects on pause. But the positive in that is that I'm purely focusing on Flow and Flourish. And as I said, I will be living and breathing it over the next 4 months until it launches in September, which means it is going to be bigger and better than I ever dreamed. Like it is actually so exciting, all that I have coming through Flow and Flourish, all the videos that I've got, the ebooks, the activities, I'm going to create 4 months worth of like workout programs, recipe books, like cookbooks, even looking at putting it into an app rather than what I originally planned. So like having it as its whole like separate app, like it's going to be huge and it's just so exciting. But as I said, like that's what challenges do is they help us pivot. And I was trying to do Flow and Flourish as this little thing as well as all these other business projects that I want. But no, now this year it's the year of Flow and Flourish. It's the year of making something that I know is going to change your life. And I am so excited for it. I am genuinely really solid in the benefits of this program and the amount of value that I'm bringing. Like it is like I haven't changed the price at all, but what I am bringing is like triple the amount of support as what I had originally planned when I was going to launch it last year. So it is going to be huge and I'm yeah, grateful for it. Grateful for this process to get me here. So yeah, that is what that looks like. And then also as part of, my value of alignment and authenticity, like as I said, I do love working and I've got my office job work, but then also my business. And that is so important to me and really growing that and creating something really special for you all. And then we're having to change his Kai's care situation. So then it's looking at our money because I love looking at money and where it's going in terms of not budgeting, but where it's going, is that in alignment with our values, with what we care about, with what we want in our life? And so with his care situation changing, like some of that money is going to be changing as well. And so there might be some free money. And so it's looking at, well, if I love working so much, what is something that I could delegate to someone else so that I can spend my time working and not having to do this thing that I don't like? And I think most of us can agree on this thing that none of us really like. There are those people, like the Monicas of the world from Friends, but cleaning. I love tidying. I love tidying and organizing and storage and all that, but actually cleaning, like getting on your hands and knees and wiping and spraying, and I have never been good at never been good at it. Don't like it. I will tidy for hours and hours every day, but I am crapola at cleaning. So just looking at, we're going to be redoing like our finances in a couple of weeks, once we know what the new routine is looking like. And so, yeah, we might be able to put some of our money towards a cleaner so that rather than me spending my time doing the cleaning, I can spend my time working, and get someone else. So just looking at, yeah, finances and where it's going and coming in and out and how we spend it. So and just making sure it's all in alignment with what we want. So yeah, lots of exciting things. I'm really excited for it, but I'm definitely a learn by doing. So that's why I really wanted to create this podcast, because this is like a timestamp for me and you guys, and saying this is what I'm wanting to do for my transformation. And then over the next few months, like things might grow, things might change. I might scrap this, I might add that in, like, and then I'll do another episode at the end of the 4 months, so you can see how my transformation's been, what my lessons have been, and how much I got out of actually doing my own Flow and Flourish program and how amazing it's been. And yeah, we'll see like what actually worked for me, and it's going to be so exciting. So yeah, if you're listening to this and you've been feeling like it's time to change up, time to step up, time for your next level, like time for your transformation, time to let go like I have, or just refresh or pivot, like this is your sign, okay? this is your sign to do it and do it with me. Like jump over onto my Instagram or my Facebook and send me a DM. Let me know what's going on for you. I'd love to support you and do this together because your next level is waiting. I love visioning. I love stepping up to this next level. I love looking at how we can all be better, do better, have better. It's a very exciting space. And it's not somewhere far away. It is totally within you. It's totally within reach. You just need to take those few steps and do that pivot. You do not need to hustle hard as much as I always fall into that trap. I always need to remind myself you do not need to hustle. You just need to come back to your true self, your authentic self, find your values, and they will guide you to how you want to live your life. Let your values lead your way. And let your cycle, your menstrual cycle, let that guide you. So let your values like show you the path, and your cycle is like the daily action. It's the daily steps to do it in a way that feels in flow and in alignment. And let your vision and your desires like speak louder than your fear or your struggles. Don't let your struggles be your baggage that you carry around. You are allowed to grow, you are allowed to change, to evolve, and everything in life changes. So why shouldn't you? Why shouldn't you change as well? So, yeah, this was the start of my 4 months. Well, I'm starting in May, so this is still in my preparation phase. I'm just getting everything lined up and getting really clear on the lifestyle changes that I want to make. But this is the start of my journey. So at the end of the 4 months, so that'll be May, June, July, August. So in September, I'll give you an update as to how everything's going, what changes I made that gave me truly fulfilling outcomes. And it'll be a check-in to ensure that, unlike last year, that I'm genuinely happy in these changes and not just doing the motions. So you're all keeping me accountable this year, and it's not just looking like success on the outside like last year. It's actually I'm feeling it on the inside. So yeah, I'm so excited for these 4 months of outcomes, and then that's perfect timing for then welcoming you all into Flow and Flourish to then support you in your 4 months transformation, because it is truly going to be the most beautiful transformational women's health program ready to welcome you into your next level as well. And I'm so excited for everything that this year is going to bring. So this episode resonated with you. I would love to hear from you. If you want to start a journey, a transformation, if you want to let me know what's going on, send me a DM, email me, or just share this episode with someone that you think needs a bit of a gentle nudge. Hey, you are not living in alignment. You're not living in your highest self. Like, here, it's time to change. Just send this to your friend that needs that gentle push. Make some changes together. Start going to the gym together. Go to the park and exercise together. Like start making some changes together. And if you want to dive deeper, then as I said, go back through my podcast episodes. There are so many episodes there with advice and lessons on how you can make changes. Like I said, go back to the one with hubby and I talking about the love languages. I've got episodes on cycle syncing and the different activities to do in each of the 4 cycle phases. So yeah, plenty here to get you started. But do reach out if you want to start your transformation as well. So until next time, keep rising, keep loving, and keep living your version of a non-mediocre life.